we're going to put up just very quickly, we'll end on Hyperloop. You've been involved with it. Your level of involvement is what at this point? Just
yeah, I know it's a bit confusing because
you talked about it when you were here last time.
Yeah, I actually came up with the idea. I came up with an initial idea which turned out to be wrong and wouldn't work several years ago, and then. But I sort of shut my mouth off and said, oh, I feel like I have an idea that would work. And it turned out that didn't work, but with a lot of iteration, was able to come up with something where the physics hangs together. And then published the paper and just said, like, look, anyone who wants to do this is great. Go, be my guest. Because I sort of have my plate full running Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think it'd be great. I mean, it'd be great to have any interesting new transport solutions, anything that gets people to their destination in a way that's safer, costs less, is more convenient. That'd be great. I mean, and so I think probably the most valuable thing that the Hyperloop paper that I published has done is to spur thinking in terms of new transportation systems. So it's not just, oh, let's have a fast train. Okay, that's not even as fast as what Japan did in the 80s. Like, okay, well, I don't see what the point of that is. Like we should really be trying to think of something that's. I think particularly in California, like we should be like saying, hey, what is the best? Well, let's invent something new that's way better than anything else.
Do you want to shoot your mouth off about that?
I mean, I'm not an investor in any of the companies that are working on it, and I've tried to be neutral because I'm trying not to favor one company over another, but just to encourage anyone that is interested to say, try to give them moral support, and I hope they succeed. The only thing that I am doing on the Hyperloop front is like we're holding a student competition, and the student competition is really just aimed towards encouraging students to think about exciting new transport methods. And it's totally cool if they want to like do some architecture that's different from what I proposed in Hyperloop. And in fact, the winning team at the student competition that we held earlier this year used a different suspension mechanism than what I proposed, which is I proposed using essentially taking the air that builds up on the nose from the compressor and flowing that through air skis so that you simultaneously remove the drag from the nose and provide a means of suspending the pod. And that's also something that works well even at supersonic velocities. You can go, it's been demonstrated up to Mach 1.1 in terms of using air bearings as
But they use something different.
Yeah, basically electromagnetic suspension. The reason I didn't suggest sort of any kind of magnetic suspension is that it's very important that the cost of the tube be minimized. So you really want, because the pod is cheap, the tube is expensive. So if you want to go say 400 miles and in two directions, so you've got 800 miles of tube. The critical economic optimization parameter is the cost of the tube. So you want that tube to be as low cost as possible. And so if you do anything that requires action on the tube side, it's going to make that tube much more expensive. So if you use air bearings, it doesn't change. Like that's real cheap. Yeah. So.
You think this is going to happen?
Yeah, I think something like that. I think something will happen in the future. I think if the companies that are trying to make it happen now, if for whatever reason that doesn't work out, then I think I might do something myself in the future. I don't want to do something. I don't want to sort of front run them. It's like say here's this free idea, and then meanwhile I go and do it myself. That wouldn't be nice. So, but if a bunch of people, if companies don't try it and it doesn't work out, then I think I think I'll try to just at least do a demonstration system, you know.
Okay, last question. Do you think tech has gotten more serious? How do you look at the tech landscape as someone who's, you know, well-known? You probably qualify as a visionary. The concept, where do you imagine we are right now in the tech space? And then we'll get to questions from the audience.
I think there's a lot of innovation happening in many different areas. The advancements in AI, I think, are quite astonishing. The advancements in genetics are amazing. So I think that there is a lot of innovation going on. I think that there's probably a few too many talented entrepreneurs in kind of the internet space, and I think their talent actually would be better served in some other industries. But I do think, I mean, I don't think we're like facing some sort of low innovation period or anything like that. I think there's a lot of innovation going on.
They need to move to other.
I just think there's like, if you had some ideal distribution, it would probably be fewer. Like there's just a lot of talent focused on the internet, and probably some of that talent would it'd be better to have some of that talent in other industries. That's about all. But there's tremendous amount of innovation that's happening. It's something that I think is going to be quite important. And there's not, I don't know of a company that's working on it seriously, is a neural lace. So going back to the AI situation, this is quite an important debate. Like if you assume any rate of advancement in AI, we will be left behind by a lot. And so then we could be in, benign, but even the benign situation, if you have some, if you have ultra intelligent AI, we would be, so far below them in intelligence that it would be like, a pet, basically.
Pet, that's what I was
like
thinking.
A pet. Like a cat. It'd be like a house cat. Yeah, it would be like the house cat.
Right.
It's not the end of the world,
Well,
sort of pet.
I've seen the movie. It could be. Yeah.
It could be. But that honestly, that would be the benign scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And
So house cat is okay.
I mean, I don't love the idea of being a house cat.
Okay.
But
So what's the solution?
Yeah. So I think I think it's to essentially. I think one of the solutions that seems maybe the best one, is to have an AI layer. If you think of like you've got your limbic system, your cortex, and then a digital layer, sort of a third layer above the cortex, that could work well and symbiotically with you. I mean, just as your cortex works symbiotically with your limbic system, your sort of a third digital layer could work symbiotically with the rest.
This is something that's surgically inserted or bred into the species, or what?
The fundamental limitation is input-output. So we already have, we're already a cyborg. It's just that, you have a digital version of yourself, or partial version of yourself online in the form of your emails and your social media and all the things that you do. And you have basically superpowers in that with your computer and your phone and the applications that are there. You have more power than the President of the United States had 20 years ago. That you can answer any question, you can video conference with anyone
Right.
anywhere, you can send a message to millions of people instantly. You can just do incredible things. And but the constraint is input output. So we're I/O bound, particularly output bound. I mean, like your output level is so low. It's like, particularly on a phone, like your two thumbs just sort of tapping away. This is ridiculously slow. Our input is much better because we have a high bandwidth visual interface to the brain. Like our eyes take in a lot of data. So there's many orders of magnitude difference between input and output. So mostly, effectively merging in a symbiotic way with digital intelligence revolves around eliminating the I/O constraint. So it'd be some sort of direct cortical interface.
And you called it a neural lace?
Neural lace, yeah.
It's totally not Google Glass, right?
No, I'm talking about
No, but
something
it's
which...
like you wear it? Or you,
No, I mean, it would be... I mean, there are a few ways to approach this, but some sort of interface directly with your cortical neurons particularly.
But doesn't that imply surgical insertion?
Not necessarily. You could go through the veins and arteries because that provides a complete roadway to all of your neurons. Your neurons are very heavy users of energy, so they need high blood flow. So you automatically, with your veins and arteries, have a road network to your neurons.
Still some kind of surgery, right?
Yes, but you could insert something, basically, into the jugular and have. It gets macabre, but
It sounds really easy and
it doesn't involve
risk-free.
it doesn't involve like chopping your skull off or anything like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
And plus, you're not a house cat anymore, right?
Not a house cat. So,
Right.
Essentially, if we can figure out how to establish a high bandwidth neural interface
With ourselves.
with your digital self, effectively, then you're no longer a house cat.
All right. On
And-
that note,
and-
no, on that note.
Yeah, well, just one closing thing.
I mean, I think that's probably the benign outcome. That's probably the best outcome, I think.
Are you interested in exploring this possibility that you have just laid?
So somebody's got to do it. I'm not saying that I will, but somebody's got to do it. I mean, so somebody should do it. And I mean, if somebody doesn't do it, then I think I should probably do it. But
And the goal of this is to prevent there being an external AI, particularly one controlled by a small group of people that could be so much more powerful and intelligent than we are that the house cat
it would be godlike in its
situation
capability.
occurs.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really cheerful. Thank you.
Yeah. But if we can establish,
I was
the
worried
high
about asteroids at the beginning of this.
I mean, asteroids are a low probability existential threat on the time scale that's relevant to us.
Okay.
Okay? This is different. This requires urgency.
So, what do you do for fun?
Yes, this is much more
Elon, what do you
urgent.
do for fun? What do you do? Anything?
I play video games with my kids.
All right. That sounds good. Let's get some questions from Elon.